Congresswoman Cammack, Republican from the great state of Florida, joins me now. Congresswoman, I put it to you that these new rules give the far right a great deal of power. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, as a member of the right, I would think that people want to have more say at the table. I'm very comfortable with the rules package because it's pretty much the exact same rules package that we had on January 1st, with the small change of a motion to vacate down to a single member as of January 5th. So there was only one change to the rules package, despite all of the theatrics of last week. That was the only thing that changed. So I know there's been a lot of talk, a lot of conjecture, a lot of rhetoric. But at the end of the day, it was the same rules package that we as members of the Republican conference debated 3 times over and accepted 3 times.
How can you get anything done if all it takes is one GOP House member to stand up and say, vacate the chair? There'd have to be a vote on it, but it would hold things up a lot, wouldn't it? I mean, that's really almost tumultuous. I don't see how you get things done.
Well, you know, I think that by and large, people want to come up here and get things done on behalf of their constituents, right the ship for the American people. And so if someone wants to stand up and say, you know, listen, I think you're doing a bad job and I'm going to, you know, do a motion to vacate, they've got to convince 217 additional members to go along with them. And that's a really, really tough task. So I think that you're going to have a lot of family discussions going on. But at the end of the day, just like we did last night, we fired 87,000 IRS agents. This week, we're going to take back the political piggy bank that the Biden administration has turned our strategic petroleum reserve into. We're going to do the work that the American people actually care about and put the campaign rhetoric to the side and do what's best for America.
Look, I'm all with you. I mean, I'd love to see you fire 87,000 IRS agents. But that decision, which you made yesterday, that's going to be reversed in the Senate. It's not going to go anywhere, is it?
Well, and I think this is where we have to stand strong and play some hardball with the Senate. You know, the Senate can't, it goes both ways. They can't just ram a bunch of things down our throat, just like we can't to them. So there's going to have to be some give and take here, and that's the beauty of the system that was envisioned by our founding fathers. We're riding the ship, and it took, like I said, some theatrics. It took some uncomfortable conversations, but I think you're going to see a brand new attitude up here in Congress, especially coming out of the House, really pushing back and playing hardball with the Democratic Senate. That's what it's going to take for us to right the ship, because as it stands right now, half of America feels silenced. They feel like their viewpoints aren't being heard. And now we have the Republican majority in the House, the People's House. It's time to fight back.
Again, I've got to go back to the idea of what are you comfortable with. 3 of the 9 seats on the Rules Committee go to the Freedom Caucus. That Freedom Caucus is a very small minority within the Republicans in the House. Are you comfortable with a small minority having that kind of power?
So when you think about the Freedom Caucus as a whole, there's about 45 members of the Freedom Caucus. Over half of the Freedom Caucus was with Kevin McCarthy from the very beginning of last week's vote. So this agreement, this handshake that has taken place, because keep in mind this is separate from the rules package, it doesn't dictate who from the Freedom Caucus is going to be on the Rules Committee, but what it does say is that there will be representation from the Freedom Caucus. So it's really anyone's guess as to who that's going to be, and that remains to be seen.
Okay, you're thoroughly united behind Speaker McCarthy.
We are.
Congresswoman Cammack, Republican from, as I said, the great state of Florida. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. Always good.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Have a good one.